Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning. It gives me great pleasure to introduce you to Anne and John, who are both heavily involved with Prim Villa. Now, for those of you that don't know Prim Villa, they are, in my opinion, doing the best possible job with regards to implementing person-centered care, specifically for dementia. Their caregiver skill and consistency is amazing. The multi-sensory stimulation and the efforts that go into the recreational program are, again, outstanding. And I believe the efforts that go into encouraging calmness are one of the greatest successes in the approach which Prim Villa take. So, Anne and John, thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
We really look forward to your conversation.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Welcome, John.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you here, to have another cup of coffee together today. We've known each other for quite a few years, haven't we?
Correct.
John has got not one family member, but two family members who are residents now at Prim Villa. And we met in 2013.
November 2013.
November 2013. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about how that happened, why you came to Prim Villa?
Yeah, regrettably, my stepson, Andrew, I suppose the terminology is fell off the bus early in 2003. And we battled for 6 years, more, 7, 8 years, until he had liver failure, ended up in hospital. There was a dependency problem through that period on both drugs and alcohol, latterly alcohol. In order to release him from hospital, we had to undertake to put him through a rehab program, which we did. And it was the rehab centre that phoned us 4 days after he got there and said, "Can you come and see us?" And we did. And they said, "Regrettably, we have to tell you that Andrew, we believe, has Korsakoff syndrome." I mean, Korsakoff syndrome, I'd never heard of the term before in my life. So one starts to read and understand that that is a alcohol-related vitamin B deficiency problem, damaging the short-term memory of the brain. And obviously, once that's damaged, there's no repair. And their suggestion was that we start looking for a long-term care centre for him. That sounded quite easy until one actually embarks on that, and to find people who understand A, that condition, and B, how to take a 46-year-old and give an assurance that they're going to be looked after for the next 30, 40 years was quite difficult. Day 4 of that search led me to Prim Villa and yourself, very fortuitously, and Andrew has been a resident since November 2013. I'm very happy that he's there. It was the best thing that happened on that day.
Yeah, thank you, John. And it's quite tragic that Andrew was only 46 when he came to us, and
Correct.
a lot physically he wasn't doing well at all. He couldn't walk very well. His vision wasn't good.
Correct.
He really didn't understand what was going on. His just short-term memory, as you said, was Shot, yes. And he didn't, I mean, even to this day, he doesn't remember how long he's been with us. He thinks he's been there for a few weeks.
Correct.
But fortunately, over time, I think it was probably about two years, he's become stronger physically, you know, with
Very
that
much
sort
so.
of regular diet, activity. And so now he's physically quite strong. And he's got involved in the life at Prim Villa. He's a lovely person, he's a gentle soul, and he's got his little jobs that he likes to do, setting the table, and he's kind. He's kind to the other people. He's still got his personality, but doesn't remember what he had for breakfast or,
Correct.
you know, what happened. And one of the things that I love that you did, John, was that you started getting a newspaper for him in the beginning, and then you actually helped and got a few newspapers delivered every day, and it's helped in the life. It's a lovely little routine that happens every day the men go to the gate to pick up their paper, they read the paper. Some of them really just enjoy the whole routine of it, and it's a lovely little gift for them every day. Some people obviously that aren't so mobile, Andrew will bring them the paper and they get to enjoy that as well. Just those little added extras. And Andrew, we always smile with Andrew that, you know, with his alcohol problem, but when we have braais every week, he's one of the first out there braaiing, and he still hasn't forgotten how to do that. His non-alcoholic beers tucked under his arm, and he's enjoying that part of his life, and he doesn't seem to be unhappy on a day-to-day basis.
No, I'm delighted it is there. I mean, he's content.
Yeah, and as you said, it's going to be, he's so young, it probably will be many years. And then...
So, yeah, it was a regrettable but fortunate circumstance, because I met you, and regrettably my wife, Wendy, after a fairly traumatic period, and after interacting with you, we got her assessed by Dr. Fuller, and Dr. Fuller pronounced her alcohol-related dementia. And that was 2017, and yeah, thanks to you, I was able to work my way through the next 2 years, which weren't pleasant.
Yeah.
As you said, you know, there will be an event, John, that we can then start to do something. And the event had to be, firstly, that she must be detoxed, because you can't put someone who's not detoxed into a nursing home because you haven't got the skills. But automatically there, after detoxing, you've got to put someone into a safe environment, which obviously was going to be Prim Villa. And yeah, the events in September 2019 conspired to make that possible, for which I thank you. And Wendy's been resident there since the 1st of October, 2019. I think happily so. I mean, it's been a great relief for me to know that she's in a place of care. It's a very sad situation when you lose someone, because it's like someone dying, but you don't have closure, because that person's gone. We know there's a body and a presence, but that's it. So it's...
It's been a hard journey for you, and it took you many years. And we were discussing this morning that you kept a diary, and I think that was so amazing. Would you want to just talk a little bit more about that journal that you kept over the 2 years prior to Wendy moving in?
I think what happens is that, I suppose being an engineer, you know, things have to be orderly, and I wanted to know whether... And the event we spoke about, when that event was going to occur, was it a series of small things that make up a situation? Or so I started keeping the log, as it were. I think it's helped me in two ways. One is that driving Wendy through to the Akisa clinic on the morning that we finally solved the problem was probably the hardest thing I've ever done, because you're taking someone whose life is going to change forever, but your own life is going to change forever.
Absolutely.
And it's been a comfort afterwards to, when you have doubt, to read, if you like, the last 9 months of Wendy's existence as a couple. You know that you've done the right thing, because you've got a documented record that says you couldn't carry on living this way. So from that point of view, it was good. The problem with dementia is that it doesn't stop with her just going into a home, because there's a whole series of events take place afterwards, because Wendy was reasonably independent financially. She had her own portfolio, her own banking account. I had power of attorney, but that stops immediately someone's deemed to be unable to look after themselves. So I've had to go the route of curatorship. My little book helped, because I could show the advocate lictus that was the last 9 months of Wendy, and these are what happened, and it becomes very understandable as to why she's where she is. So that was another reason for keeping a record. It was helpful from that point of view.
Yeah, I think it's a very valuable thing, and as you say, it reminds you when you have doubts.
Sure.
What the journey was, and it still is. It's still not an easy journey.
No, it's not. It's not.
For you, yeah.
But and you know, to know that there's that care there, I think is the main thing. And as I say, I can't thank you guys enough for the help you gave me during that period, because I think if Andrew hadn't been there, I wouldn't have known you. And if you're on the outside, who do you speak to? Where do you go? Where do you get this help?
Yeah.
You know, and it is difficult.
Yeah.
So, as I say, for that I'm eternally grateful.
Okay, yeah, and I think we had many chats with you as you tried to process this whole thing,
Sure.
How it was going to happen, and all your regrets, and even Wendy. I mean, if you had said to her, Wendy, this has got to happen, she would have objected quite vehemently.
Oh yes.
And yet now that she's settled, she feels that this is her home and she's in charge. You know,
yeah.
She's in charge of something in her life, and we've seen that she's still healthy physically.
Correct.
She's healthy, and she still wants to give us yoga lessons every now and she'll remind somebody about their posture. And she's a very kind person, and we see that lovely Wendy that you knew and
Sure.
have loved for so many years. She still notices other people in her environment and
Sure.
reaches out, which is
Yeah.
lovely for us to see. And John, it's been lovely. You know, you have been so involved with us at Prim Villa. You've helped us in so many ways, and I just want to take this opportunity to thank you. You've seen our needs, especially when it comes to the equipment that has helped us. You know, with a Nordic chair, and you helped us get 2 more Nordic chairs, and we see that as your investment in something that you know is doing good in the long term, and I want to thank you for that, John.
It's a little bit of payback, but I think I'm just fortunate to be able to do it. So it's been a pleasure to be able to do it and see that. And I mean, just watching the results. I mean, as we saw on the clip earlier. I mean,
staff, yes.
But yeah, it's they are working. They are an integral part of your care facility now, and
everything's definitely.
And it will, hopefully, all the time I'm able, we'll just carry on and become an Arjo customer, you know.
Yes. Yeah, that was an interesting walk, and I remember the day that we received our first Nordic chair, and you were in the car park sorting out something for Andrew.
Correct.
And you said, "What's that?" And then when I told you my story, you said, "Okay, I'm going to get you another one."
No, I said, "Just go and buy another one."
Yeah, great.
And you burst into tears.
I did cry. I did, thank you. Because we know what a blessing number 1 was. And
sure.
Thank you.
No, it's been a pleasure.
Very much, John, for it.
So if I can add in, the journey which Prim Villa have had has taken them so far in progression of quality care. You know, if I look at it, you've invested in bed care. You've invested in the correct gear to be able to move and handle the various mobility levels of people. Mm-hmm. Also, we've invested in fantastic world-class hygiene equipment.
Yes.
You know, hygiene equipment is such a fantastic opportunity, not only for one-to-one interaction, but also effective cleaning.
Yes.
You know, the benefits associated with a proper hygiene routine are huge. Yeah. We all enjoy our shower or bath in the morning or the evening. I think during lockdown I was having one of each, 2 a day. And then, of course, you know, I mentioned it earlier, but the results that come from relaxation are huge. It just completes the whole person-centered therapy, encouraging calmness, the sleep. It really does have long-lasting effects. And for me, one of the greatest benefits of that is the reduction in the pharmaceutical solution.
Yes.
And I don't believe that dosing people up on medication has quality outcomes.
No.
Not for the resident or for the family.
I agree.
So you guys are doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
I can tell every time I come to Prim Villa, there's a special feeling in your home.
Thank you.
It's easy to get lost.
Yeah.
It's like a warren with 5 different homes with 80 people and your caregivers.
Yes.
I'm just so encouraged and want to encourage you to keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. It's really helped. It's been an exciting walk.
It has.
It has been very exciting.
And you've come so far.
Yes. Yeah.
But we still need to go further.
We still do. We still do need to learn more.
But we have our plans.
Yeah.
And we look forward to the plans materializing
Absolutely.
as and when the time is right.
Thank you.
Super.
I believe we have a small technical issue,
Okay.
so we just need to continue for a little while.
Okay.
If I could perhaps give a little bit of insight into Prim Villa from my personal experience. I was fortunate enough to do an undercover carer day, which was certainly interesting for me because I speak about the challenges of immobility all the time. But for me to get first-hand experience was quite critical. And thank you for having me for that day. You know, the challenges of immobility are huge. You know, manually moving and handling people. There's no safe way of manually moving people. You know, and we'll discuss that at a later stage. But the opportunity which you gave me has really opened my eyes and given me personal development to be able to speak with conviction, but also confidence regarding the challenges which all long-term facilities face on a daily basis. You know, 24 hours of caring is difficult. There's many moves that need to happen. There's many toilet sessions that need to be had. And what Arjo believe is critical is improving the quality and effectiveness of care. And that goes so hand in hand with safety and dignity and overall well-being of residents. And John, I think you are testimony to that, having seen it firsthand.
Sure.
The difference which we can make when we have this dedicated person-centered care approach, which is all about the resident and the caregiver.
Definitely.
This is critical.
Yeah.
We're all people, and the resident needs to be at the focus of our approach. So
I think definitely it's the when I looking at the video earlier and seeing the staff and just really appreciating again how much they enjoy the assistance in the hard job that they do every day. It's hard work, and it's in a way it's thankless unless they're just doing it for the love of it. If that's where they get their thanks, not because they're getting personal thanks from the residents themselves in many times. And you know, especially we help with the bathing routines, anything that will make it different or enjoyable is so important, because we all know with dementia, it's one of the first things that people stop enjoying. They don't need to bath, or they don't want to, or whatever. And the staff recognize the assistance that having a beautiful hydrotherapy bath, what a difference it can make, a beautiful sensory experience for someone. Assistance to get people to the showers, to make it an easier flow, that it's not a long, drawn-out process. And it's in fact, I smiled the other day, the staff are now telling me what equipment they want. They recognize the help, and they say, well, we could do with one of those too, you know, an extra one, because it's saving them, saving their physically, it's helping them and saving their bodies from the strain that they take willingly, but we want to do our bit for them as well.
Well, I remember one of the conversations that we had early on after your equipment was delivered in the first place was, I can't believe we went so long doing things the old way.
The hard way.
Yeah, the hard way. You know, if we look at in-bed washing, for example, personally, I can't think of anything worse. So if it's part of our hygiene policy that all residents get to have a bath or a shower every day, then this is a step towards a quality improvement initiative. And this is the golden thread behind today, is that we are discussing quality improvement. You know, the general long-term care sector in South Africa does have a certain stigma attached to it. And this is what we are doing our best to change. But it's a long process. You know, it's going to take many years to eat the elephant one bite at a time. But this is what today's about. It's about inspiring hope, and having new ideas, and learning more about what person-centered care actually is. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
So, thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
It's been wonderful. John, my first time meeting you in person. We really appreciate the support, the tremendous difference that you're making.
It's been my pleasure.
To Prim Villa. And we'll see you again a little bit later.
Later, yeah.
But, yeah,
and
we really
you, John.
appreciate your time.
Thank you. no, it's been very